Now we can move on to getting our turtle to work. I've created a new package and class called turtle. I'm going to have the turtle class extend GUI element, and by extending our object to a GUI element, we automatically have access to alignment methods, scaling factors, and a whole host of other useful features. We also want our class to implement iAdvanceable, which is Gingy's optimized animator. It is much less intensive than the onEnterFrame because it compiles all of the separate objects that must be advanced each frame into one global onEnterFrame type process. We'll add that a bit later. So I've created a variable, animation, GUI animation sheet, and the layer for the animation, which is just going to be a sprite. Next, we're going to have a display object that will be the container into which we'll add our turtle. And this variable will essentially be our background from the parent class, which we'll pass through. We'll have a boolean that enables disable swimming to make sure our turtle is always within the screen. A boolean that enables swimming to make sure turtle is within screen. And finally, we're going to have a function that is to be invoked if our turtle hits an obstacle. We'll call this strike. This function will also be passed through our constructor function. Function to be invoked once hit. Now let's pass through our context, display object, and strike function. Okay. Let's also create a variable in our game settings class called bottom line, and we'll just set it to a number which is equal to 10. This will be the bottom line that our turtle can touch, since we'll have a layer representing sand at the very bottom of the screen that we don't want the turtle to go past. Next, let's move on to our element IDs class, and we'll create an ID called turtle ID that we'll use obviously as our turtle's ID. In our turtle constructor function, we'll type super element IDs turtle ID, which will set the turtle's ID, and we'll continue by setting our strike variable as a strike function we pass through. And we'll also instantiate an anim layer as a new sprite, and we'll set our disable swim variable to false to enable our turtle to swim. As well, since both of our turtle animations, idle and swim, are housed inside the same sprite sheet, we're going to create frame labels inside of a dictionary so that we can easily reference specific starting frames for our two separate turtle animations. We'll start by creating a dictionary called labels. And inside I'm going to have swim be equal to 1 and idle be equal to 25, since that's where our idle animation starts, on the 25th frame. Now we can create our turtle animation. We can place it inside of our sprite sheet in case of rotation needs. We'll also add that layer to the stage. And we'll go to the first frame of our idle animation and we'll play it. So GUI animation turtle swim, which is a new string. I'm just bringing in the embedded assets class into our turtle class. Since you can't do it in square parentheses. I'm just going to call it turtle animation. Then I'm going to put the turtle animation inside a container, which is our anim layer. Add child animation. And I'm going to add that to the stage. Add child anim layer. Animation, go to and play. Idle. Let's write up our swim animation that we'll be able to call externally on mouse click. We'll take care of all of the speed calculations and sounds later. Update speed manager and play sound. So first let's show our swim animation. Animation dot add event listener and complete on complete swim, and go to and play swim, and then false so it doesn't loop, and true so it stops at the next frame. Now we've added here an event listener on our animation so that after the swim animation is complete, we'll invoke our onCompleteSwim function. Here we want to remove our event listener and play our idle animation. So animation.remove event listener, event complete, on complete swim, and animation, go to and play, idle, and true, so it loops. Now we need an advance function that returns the boolean true in order to run this class, since we're going to implement iAdvanceable. Let's create that function now. Inside, we're going to check if our turtle has touched the top of the screen with a bit of padding. To do this, let's type if this dot get bounds context, which is the parent stage, minus scaling factors get scale num 50, which is our bit of padding. We're going to disable the turtle swim. Else, we're going to update the vertical position by what we set our y speed to, and we'll set our disable swim boolean as false to enable swimming. Likewise, let's check if the turtle has hit the bottom. If the turtle has hit the bottom, we're going to activate our strike function. And then we have to return true, of course, because we're implementing iAdvanceable. Now I'm going to set our Y speed as a number, but after we'll implement Speed Manager to take care of this Y speed. Later, set Y speed using Speed Manager. And I'm just going to create a public function called stop animation, which, as you can guess, tells our animation to stop. And I'm going to copy that and paste it and create a play animation function, which tells our animation to play. And we're going to play it idle with looping. That's all for our turtle class. Thank you for watching.